Well, he's
Yeah,
a producer on all of her
yeah.
shows. Yeah,
And
like
he
he writes
clearly
all the
writes the shit
scripts.
because when she was on Colbert, she couldn't think of a single game that had,
Yeah.
like, I've covered 500 zillion games. I can't think of any on the.
That interview is still pinned at the top of her Twitter.
Yeah,
So like fucking several months ago, that's the most important thing she did was go on some
it's the most
shitty
important
comedy
thing she'll
show.
ever do.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure it'll die down from there. Her 15 minutes are probably over.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like her sitting in Colbert's chair bugs the shit out of me, and I think she knows it bugs people. This is because she talks shit about Colbert fans before, and this is her way of saying, "See, guys, I've taken over something that you love that had, and I've just perverted it." And she's just smiling. And like, that's just who she is in a nutshell. Just fucking busybody, greedy liar, ruining things just everywhere. There's her goddamn face and her stupid flannel shirt.
Oh, she's obviously a lesbian. I mean, she wears flannel constantly. What else could it possibly be? She hates men. She's in flannel all the time. She never wears enough makeup. It's got to be a lesbian. Maybe she's just in the closet and just doesn't realize it, and that's why she's so angry at men.
Dude, I don't think it really. Who knows? I think it's just greed. Like I said, I don't think she believes any of this bullshit. But John strikes me as a true believer, because he always looks like he's about to burst into tears.
He looks fucking insane.
Yeah.
That's how you know, like, you're dealing with a zealot. They just have that look in their eyes. It's like,
yeah, I mean, and
this person may stab me.
What a
Yeah,
strange
he looks like he's an angry tweet away from drawing a swastika on his head and murdering Sharon Tate.
There's an obscure reference that like all of the audience won't get.
Yeah. I'm still editing that book by that friend of mine, and she's much older, right? She's like a generation apart, so like she has these references that she thinks are clever, but nobody born in decades past would even understand what the hell she's talking about, who she's referring to, like long dead celebrities.
She's talking about, what is it? Oh man, I'm trying to remember some. I've got some references from way back, but
now I'm imagining this being like slightly
Hooverville?
racist. Yeah.
She's talking about Hoovervilles and stuff like that.
She thinks Jack is still an acceptable term.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Now, if she just dropped casual racism all throughout the book because she just thought that was how you talked,
Yeah.
that might actually be entertaining.
I saw a group of Orientals sitting over there.
Oh god, that would be beautiful. It's like, I like how people don't understand that like taking away words isn't a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like every like decade or so, there's like just a longer list of words you're not allowed to say because somebody might feel bad. It's just like, it gets so ridiculous. Like, retard is out now. You can't say that.
Yeah, I used to love that word. I used to lean on it.
Oh, I still use it too, but it's just like there's just fucking, or you can't call people fat.
What?
Like there's that whole fat acceptance bullshit.
What are they gonna do? Call a SWAT team?
Yeah, probably.
I'll call anyone a fat retard I want.
Well, and what's entertaining is they always cover these like death threats.
Sorry, real quick. I just have like this vision of like a bunch of really obese guys in body armor with the helmets and the submachine guns, and it's like, fat retard, police, open the door.
Like the portly stormtrooper.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a bunch of those guys.
Yeah, every time someone's on some self-righteous bullshit thing, I think of a police force that is like staffed exclusively by that kind of person. And now I just have this great mental image of the fat retard police.
That'd be sad, just because like what the fuck would they do? They just fucking run a couple yards, just start breathing heavy and fall over? Yeah, Christ.
I think they'd be like an all Segway police force. They'd get around with no cars even, just Segways.
I mean, I get tired of people, like do you know a user named Boogie?
Yeah.
Oh, is he the one that like screams a lot and is just giant or something like that?
He's been swatted.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a cool guy, and some of his rants when he was in character really made me laugh, especially the one about Google Plus. But it's like, as much as, I mean, every single asshole, he's just, his chat is just filled with trolls. Just saying, hey, this fat guy's fat. Hey, fatty. And it's like, yeah, great. Give yourself a fucking round of applause. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I want to say he's been swatted multiple times, actually.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if that's like
the whole
possible.
swatting thing sounds fishy to me. It reeks of
It's
urban legend.
it's real. It actually happens.
Yeah.
It's pretty disturbing. Just because, like, but you can picture like a 12-year-old just having no concept of how much damage that could do to somebody.
Yeah.
Because even if it's a false alert, the police don't pay to get your door fixed. Like, they kick your door in, they break a window, they're not going to fucking pay for that.
You're not going to pay for the gallon of milk you had to put in your face because of the tear gas.
Yeah, none of that shit. That ain't happening. But what's interesting... Never mind, I completely lost that thought.
I mean, I would sue the city, and then they'd be like, oh, great, this asshole's gonna get us like $1 million in damages for emotional distress. And I'd be like, look, I'll settle out of court if you just fix my door.
Yeah, that actually would be the way to go. Like, you just file the lawsuit yourself and do that. Yeah, that probably would work.
Oh no, I'd call Saul. Have you guys seen?
I can't tell if you're joking because they're you know, like, that's a typical like lawyer name, or if you're like you actually know a lawyer named Saul.
He hasn't watched Breaking Bad.
You haven't watched Breaking Bad?
It's not my cup of tea, man. Just too much gross
so I can order
shit,
a
man.
SWAT team to your house.
Then I can get in on it.
Oh, I mean, miniseries fanboy. If you think the fat retard police are heavy-handed and brutal, well, I mean, they're heavy-handed. They're just heavy all around. The point is, you haven't seen the miniseries fanboy police. They're the most excessively violent police force ever. More violent than New York and LA, NYPD, LAPD. None of them have anything. It's just the miniseries fanboy police. They kill people for very little reason at all.
If you have the need.
Yeah, they're kind of like the
fanboys of any
Spanish
type
Inquisition,
tend to be
but worse.
excessive. Sorry.
If you haven't seen Breaking Bad and/or Game of Thrones,
I see. You have
and to the lesser extent The Wire, I mean, then it's only a matter of time before you get a visit.
You've literally named 3 series I've never seen.
I don't, you know, I really think we're gonna have to say goodbye to you. See you, man. Thank you for your service, but we don't.
I'd be willing to watch The Wire. The Wire sounds interesting, but I'm just not a fan of Game of Thrones. I tried reading the books, just not my thing. I like to make fun and say that George R.R. Martin is a terrible writer just to fuck with the super fans, but in all honesty, it's just not my don't really dig that kind of thing.
Well, you know, I'll say to someone, have you ever watched Game of Thrones? And they're like, oh, I don't watch TV. I say, who said anything about TV?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not TV. No, that's more like just a series of short movies.
Yeah. TV. I'm not asking you if you watch fucking Big Bang Theory, for Christ's sake. I'm asking you if you watch fucking Game of Thrones.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I've watched a couple episodes of that because my friend came over.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, it's so funny. You should watch that. And it was fucking awful. Just a bunch of fucking idiots, man. I just could not, I wanted to punch the TV.
A lot of people think that's what smart people watch. They're like, this is the pinnacle of intelligent TV.
No,
everybody
watch stuff that's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna waste your time like watching shitty TV, you might as well watch something that's funny. Like, I bet a lot of smart people watch reality TV, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Just because it's like those people are just so awful, they're entertaining, you know?
Like what? Like what?
Oh, like, I'm sure like the Real Housewives or something like that, where they're just like, look at these fucking tragedies of humanity, like, dancing around on the camera for my entertainment.
I'm skeptical of your theory, Stabby.
I've never watched it, but I'm just...
No, I'm just saying, I really doubt, you know, you got fucking Stephen Hawking and Neil deGrasse Tyson going to each other's house and watching fucking, you know, what is it? Duck Dynasty or some shit.
I don't know. At that point, what left is there to do? After,
What is there left to do?
yeah.
Well, apparently Stephen Hawking, didn't he end up like figuring out how to get himself to like whorehouses and have like women like spitting in his mouth and shit like that?
What?
What?
There was some sort of thing that people
Is
were
that
talking
in that new
about his,
Oscar-winning movie?
Yeah, well, there was something that they were talking about, like how he used to have his like aide get him to like take him to like strip clubs and shit. It was I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. Like there was like a little like thing on the internet. I don't know if it was true or not. I mean,
Yeah, it's. Let's say. Go ahead and say that it isn't.
Yeah.
it's probably a rumor, but it was the funniest goddamn rumor I've ever heard.
Yeah, now that
No.
I've heard it, it's true to me. It's just
Yeah.
like the Rob Schneider picks up Mexicans in the parking lot of Home Depot to strangle him. It's now true to me.
And now, mind you, though, do not ever underestimate the disabled. I worked at one program where we had a client who was blind, and he still managed to figure out a system whereby,
And he still
without the
thought-
staff knowing,
He still thought Big Bang Theory was shit. No.
no, he actually managed to trade his medications for like heroin
What?
without the staff figuring it out for like weeks. And there were actually motion sensor alarms all the way up and down the pathway to get to the like house. So we're like, he managed to avoid all of this shit and like set up drops to trade his medications for like hard street drugs. So it's like all those people that are like, oh, those poor disabled people can't do anything. No, they can fucking do whatever they want to fucking do. They will get it done.
Wily fuckers.
They just need the right motivation. Sometimes that motivation is heroin.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Building off that, let's send all those wounded and disabled veterans right back out to the front. Just let them figure out how to kill the Taliban
Wouldn't
effectively.
being blind give you unique challenges to like tying off your arm and getting the vein?
You can smoke heroin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you powder it, you put it on like a piece of foil, and then you light it on fire and use like a straw to inhale the smoke. Or so I've heard. I used to work with like a guy that did heroin for like 10 years or something before he quit.
Really? What made him quit? Is he okay?
I think it was like a combination of the money, and he just like didn't want to be like that to be his whole life. He was a musician in LA for a while.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, he ended up giving up heroin and basically just smoking weed all the time. And then eventually he had, like, a kid, and he was just like, oh, now I can't do anything. And I'm just like, really, dude? You're just going to pretend to be, like, this totally different person now that you have a kid? Come on. Don't be that parent.
Be the parent that keeps the heroin habit going strong. Through
Yeah.
this.
Do some
weed,
heroin with your
he
kids
was
once
smoking
in a
weed
while.
before he had the kid. I'm sure he's going to be a much more relaxed parent when the kid's a teenager if he just smokes a joint now and again. Like, God damn it, that kid snuck out and took the car. I'm going to fucking kill him. All right, smoke a couple joints. All right, maybe I'll just ground him for a week. It's cool.
So what's happening now?
This weapon
on
I'm
the-
using is not optimum for killing bugs.
I've been watching that.
Yeah,
This
you
is
just gotta
the
pull out.
back entrance into Blight Town and the swamp beneath it. This is normally where you exit, but I gave my character the master key, which opens up certain areas, so I didn't have to go through the horrible toxic portion.
Oh, yeah, which since you don't have much resistance would have been a
Yeah,
terrible
although I
idea.
just got toxic from a sniper this year, but luckily I have just enough there. I have
You have to find out the right random plant to eat to make it go away, right?
yep.
That's interesting, I like blowgun snipers.
Yeah.
I've actually used one of those, like, real hunting blowguns. Those things are pretty scary.
Oh yeah, how hard do they hit? What can they pierce?
They can get pretty deep into some plywood, I'll tell you that.
I mean, can it really kill an animal?
If you hit the right animal in the right place, like if you're talking like a rabbit or something like that, sure. They'll go right into its skull.
How accurate can you get it? I imagine since it's
I
always
would-
going to shoot the way that you're looking. At least
I would
to a
imagine
degree.
it's like anything, practice enough and you get, really accurate. You know, like pitchers throw a ball within like a real small target area comparative to the size of the object they throw. Yeah, there's no sights on that.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, just muscle memory alone can get you to predict it.
Yeah. I imagine most people that are really accurate with blowguns use them for survival, like in like the jungle and shit. Because it's like, well, if you don't want to die, you want to eat, you fucking get good at this.
As you can see from the way that they build their city, they're not going to have a space program anytime soon, but they do have some hydraulic technology.
Makes me think of Shirtgate.
Shirtgate? Oh, right.
Uh,
Oh,
Guy
my
lands
God.
the fucking...
That guy was so cool, and then he apologized, and I lost all respect. Don't apologize.
You know who I love for not apologizing to that kind of group was Joan Collins. Or not Joan Collins, Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
Like, she told some jokes, and they were, like, getting on her, and, like, you need to apologize, and she was just, like, never gonna happen.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, Joan Rivers, I don't even like your comedy, but now I like you.
Exactly.
You know, like,
I didn't know she even did stand-up. I just...
oh, no, her stand-up was actually pretty good. I didn't really care much for, like, that bullshit, like, celebrity asshole licking crap that she would do with her.
Yeah, that's all I knew her
carpet.
for. So when people said she did stand-up, I just assumed it was shite. But, I mean, not many women are funny, let's face it. I don't care if they get on my case for it. Every time I looked up one time, like, Joan, yeah, someone told me, I think it was Sarah Hahn was talking about Joan Rivers, and I looked her up, and then I looked at lists of, funny women comedians, and it's always like Sarah Silverman and 9 people you never fucking heard of.
Yeah.
It's always the same.
Oh, there's one. It's like Irish Goodbye or something like that on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's a comedy special from a chick, and she's pretty fucking funny.
what I hate is when they make the 10,000th iteration of like the response to Christopher Hitchens' article. It's like, are women funny? Let's ask these 9 comedians who also happen to be women.
Well, I think there's less motivation for women to develop a
yeah, that
skill
was
in
essentially
comedy.
his argument, but what they take the title of his article, which is just a hook, literally to mean that, yes, no women are funny. Let's go ask these 9 unusually funny women.
Well, I bet that most of them are crap. I mean, if someone said to you, get 9, you're basically gonna get Sarah Silverman and 8 people who would never make you laugh in a million years. I mean, it's basically it.
I can think of I can't think of their names offhand, but I can think of like 2 or 3 different women that I've seen do comedy that were really funny. But what made their comedy funny for me was that it wasn't gender specific. Because the problem I think that you have with a lot of female comedians is a lot of them get up and make jokes that are really just for other women.
Yeah.
Like there's one comic, Eliza Schlesinger. That's some sort of fucking mouthful right there. But a lot of her comedy is based on makeup and picking up dudes, and it's like, the women in the audience are just losing their shit. So obviously it's funny, but I just don't relate to it. Like, that's not something I've ever had to concern myself with.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't have the right shoes for this outing. What am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But yeah, I think that's part of it. And the other part is just, and the funny thing is you heard that from Christopher Hitchens, that women just don't develop a sense of humor don't find it as necessary to have that sense of humor. Whereas, like, I've heard that from, like, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like,
If I had been that space commander guy, whatever, the scientist who wore the shirt, and everyone got offended, I'd show up to the press conference with just a normal shirt, but with a pair of pants that had the exact same print, and say, yeah, I'll never wear a shirt like that again.
do you know that was designed and given to him by a woman that was a
Yep.
friend of his? Like, that's
Yep.
the thing that blows my mind is, like, I can't believe you apologized. So I wish people would stop doing that, because that just encourages these
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dumb
like that stupid 12-year-old who had the nerve to wear box braids.
That was
Yep.
so funny.
And then
People got
people
mad.
literally say, I'd never seen someone use the term trigger, like, not ironically, because I don't keep that kind of circle of
Company.
acquaintances